Hey, welcome back, everybody. Helene Angley here, and I brought along my friends, and still here doing our comedy festival for Old York Sellers, and a big shout out to Old York for having us along for this long weekend. We had Friday night live with David at the Vineyard, and Saturday night we had a show, and this is our Sunday installment. So again, a great format to support quarantine comics, us comics that really have no other place to go but here in your living room. So, buddy, you want to give them a small intro?
Sure, it's the Quarantine Comedy Club, and we are very grateful to Old York Sellers for allowing us to be a part of it and to showcase comics, as they always do anyway.
Yeah,
when they're
it's
up
a
and
great
running
venue.
live. It's a great venue, and we will be back again, no doubt about it. But I think there will only be allowed 5 people in the audience. But nonetheless, it will be live.
Each ticket will be just a small amount.
Right.
Why
yes.
should that be different than any other part of my career?
I love playing to tens of people.
Yes. 5 people clapping out of 5 people is golf clapping.
It's not quantity, it's quality.
There you go. And it is always quality, as it is here on the Quarantine Comedy Club.
It's very good lead-in, buddy. Very good lead-in.
Thank you. Where we comics are doing what they do best. We have to do this, just like a lot of people have to get up and go to work. It's normal. It's natural. It's how we make our living, and we have to express ourselves. So this is the venue where you can donate, and the information will be up on the screen. It's very simple: PayPal, Venmo, what have you. And tonight's show is going to be just as great as all the other ones.
What do you got for us tonight, Joe?
Tonight, the Sunday night show at the Virtual Wine Festival, we have the brilliant Buddy Fitzpatrick hosting, ladies and gentlemen. And we have Kelly Terranova from down south, but not that far down south. And I don't think his state's opened yet. We have a roving correspondent, Mr. Rodney Laney, is going to join us. That's a new thing we're trying at the QC Club. Okay. And yours truly will be headlining the show. So please do tune in and check it out.
Nicely done. That's a great lineup. That's a great lineup.
It's going to be great.
You know what they say down the South, right? Hey, y'all, watch me do this.
Bless your heart.
That sounds like the name of a comedy's album. Hey, y'all, watch me do this.
And you know what his brother says? Well, hell, if he can do it, so can I.
One more thing, and we have an entire episode of Jackass right there.
That's your headliner, guys, tonight. That's how funny he is.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you soon at Old York. And if we don't, we'll see you here on Virtual Comedy again.
Absolutely.
So thanks, Joe. Thanks, Buddy, for helping me out.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Helene.
Thanks, everyone, for supporting, as always, at Old York and David and the team. Cheers.
Cheers.
Be safe.
Hello! Why not I say hello to you, sir? And welcome to the QC Club. I'm Lindsay, if you haven't already met me, and I'm really excited about this week's episode because we have teamed up with Old York Sellers for their virtual wine festival to present to you episode 4 of the QC Club. This week's episode is going to feature club favorite Buddy Fitzpatrick, Kelly Terranova, Joe Bronzi, and special guest Rodney Laney. So if you haven't already, grab a glass of wine, sit back, relax, and laugh your off.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host and MC for the evening, Mr. Buddy Fitzpatrick.
Hey, this is Buddy Fitzpatrick with this episode of the Quarantine Comedy Club. I'm your host and MC, and we got some great comedy coming at you. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and I hope everyone's safe and saving as much money as I am, because I'm not spending money. I never knew that you could save money by not paying rent or the phone or cable, and nobody's doing anything. It's amazing, isn't it? It's great. And apparently a lot of people like steak fries and peas. What's that about? Why are you buying peas? Because that's all that's left. So I never think to buy peas. Now I'm like, I'll make something with peas. Oh yeah, stop showing me what you're cooking. I assume you eat and I assume you cook. Just because we're quarantined doesn't mean you need to show me everything you've cooked like it's some sort of, because I'm quarantined, look how creative I can be. I made rice parmesan. And I'm glad that liquor stores have been considered essential businesses. And we don't even need to go into that as to why. But That's a good thing. Thank you for showing up at the Quarantine Comedy Club. And if you want to donate during, tip here and here. These will be up the entire time for this episode. And right now I want to bring up your next act. And your next act was named Social Distancing Quarterly's Man of the Year. Again. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's how quarantined he is, but this is how funny he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Terranova.
Hi, hey, I'm Kelly Terranova, and welcome to the Quarantine Comedy Club. I've never washed my hands so much. I've soaked up so much sanitizer and soap into my skin that when I pee, I clean the toilet. You know, this really has been hard on a lot of people. I mean, think if you have an addiction. I mean, alcoholics, they can still get booze, but you know what? What if you're a casino gambler? That's got to be really hard. There's a casino in a state, and I don't want to say the name of the state because I don't want to punch down in these difficult times, but let's just say it's a state that you use when you're counting, like 1, name of the state, 2, name of the state, 3. It's the way Ross Geller gets a spray tan. You with me? Well, I guess I can say you're right. I mean, it's on the internet. I mean, it's not going to get to Mississippi. They're not going to burn a copy and put it on a VHS. Oh, I shouldn't say that. That's not nice. Let's be clear. I grew up in West Virginia. Okay, West Virginia, I'm pleased to have been born and reared there, but let's be clear. West Virginia and Mississippi have what I'm going to call a symbiotic relationship. That's an SAT word if they ever give those again. Symbiotic. We help each other out. Mississippi, West Virginia, we keep each other out of number 50 in a lot of lists. Education, spending, highway funding, SAT scores, and we keep each other out of number 1 in alternate years on lists like obesity and diabetes, so it really works out. But listen, you should not have casino gambling in a state where math is a myth. They don't play 21, they play about 21. I've never seen a blackjack dealer use a calculator. Is that normal? All right, you got a J. That's 01. That's 10, whatever. No one was playing blackjack. No one was playing craps, because that's redneck calculus. But this place was packed. They were running 17 tables. I counted 17 tables of a game they called Guess Which Hand It's In. I'm like, serious? My friend said we're going to go play a few hands. I didn't know he actually meant hands. And they were into it. It could be the left hand or it could be the right hand. Is that the stupidest thing you've ever heard? I'm going to assume you said yes. I lost $1,200 playing Guess Which Hand It's In. That's right. One whole stimulus check I lost playing Guess Which Hand It's In. And frankly, I don't think there was anything in either hand. Oh, I see your concern. Don't worry about me, Internet. I made my money back over at the rock, paper, scissors table. I can play that. This is as good a time as any, I guess, to address this. I don't understand rock, paper, scissors. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I get the game. But, okay, follow along. I understand how a rock can break or dull a scissor. I get that. I understand how a scissor cuts a paper. I get that. But if you cover a rock with a piece of paper, so what? It's still a rock. It retains all of its rock-like qualities. Like, let's say you were mad at me. You go throw a rock. I'm like, oh, time out. Wrap it in paper. All that does is keep my face blood off your rock. That's all that does. Anyway, so I'm in the back of this casino, way back near the Jiffy Lube. It was way in the back. Pause for laughter. And the guy had a big green table, but he had no cards or no dice, no wheel. I was intrigued. I slapped down my rock, paper, scissors money. I want to play. And he's like, all right. I'm thinking of a number. Dude, he's thinking, I said, real? I'm thinking of a number. I said, dude, I used to work for Carnival, not the Carnival, really. I had to pay. He put my money in that little slot. I'm committed. What do you do? I said, dude, whatever. 4. And he said, yep. Dude, it must have been his first night, y'all. I cleaned this fella out. I don't know what the odds are of hitting 18 4s in a row. 18, by the way, is the cutoff, just so you know. Same thing if you're at Costco getting the pig into blanket samples. 18 is the cutoff. It's a little town, Tunica, Mississippi, an hour south of Memphis. I hung out in this town, and it's all casinos and there's a zoo. The zoo is like a regular zoo, like you might have there in your internet home. But on the cage, where it has the sign with the description of the animal, below that is another sign with the recipe. That it says here that kangaroo was from Australia, and it carries its young'uns in a pouch, and it serves 8 to 12. That's silly. You wouldn't eat kangaroos. Bats. You'd eat a bat. No. Hey, listen. Thanks for coming to the Quarantine Comedy Club. I'm Kelly Terranova, reminding you there are only two things that can affect the spread of this virus: how dense your population is, and how dense your population is.
Hey, let's give it up for Kelly Terranova. Come here, you. Okay, you know who's up next? We're going to go to our roving correspondent down in South Carolina. That's where Rodney Laney is, and he's going to tell us what's happening down in South Carolina. Rodney, what's going on down there?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Checking in on y'all. Make sure y'all doing all right. It's Rodney Laney here, comedian, writer, soon to be farmhand. I'm deep in South Carolina where you gotta wave. You gotta wave at everybody. People wave back till they see my New Jersey license plate. Then they don't wave back no more. Find they won't have a problem social distancing. They'll give you like 9 to 12 feet. As soon as they see those Jersey license plates. Look behind me. This is my audience right here. Look. That's where I come out here. I'm doing comedy for cows right now. And let me tell you, it's a tough audience. I don't really eat beef like that, but I'm thinking about eating one of these cows. It's actually why I came down here. I said, hey, things get bad. You got 45 cows here. You know how I know? Because I've counted them. It's kind of slow out here. If I wake up early enough, I'll count them twice. But if you really notice, let me see. You see how they social distancing? Yeah. They've been social distancing down here in South Carolina since the 13th Amendment. Like I said, I don't really eat beef like that, but I'm thinking about eating one of these because one of them be mooing at like 3 o'clock in the morning. What you got to moo about it 3 o'clock in the morning? You nothing to moo about. Stop mooing. I feel like with all that mooing be penetrating my dreams. I have dreams of cows feeding me chickens. It's a weird dream. They say coronavirus can't survive in this climate because it's too boring. Corona be like, ain't nobody you infect out here. Take me back to Jersey. Just in case you guys can't get out, I'll show you. You guys remember what it looked like. What it looked like being outside for my New Yorkers in New Jersey. See that? It's gorgeous. Beautiful pond, man. Sometimes I come out here and ponder by the pond. You know what I mean? Got one cow right there. You see him out there doing his own thing? He like, I don't trust the mother cow. Man, nah. I don't get down like that. I gotta get up out of here, man. We know where I'm going. Wait for my Uber driver. You know you in the sticks when your Uber driver show up in a tractor. I'm like, where am I supposed to sit, man? I'm doing a shared ride between a cow poke and a bale of hay. You think I'm lying? I got a picture of that on my Instagram. Check it out at Comedy Ride. Comedy Ride, Comedy R-O-D. And I hope you guys are out there being safe, man, and just chill, man. We gonna be all right.
Thanks, Rodney. Thanks so much, and we'll check in with you again at some other point. Stay safe out there. Now we're going to bring up your headliner and a dog's butt. Anyway, your headliner, ladies and gentlemen, good friend of mine. He's got a great CD out called Milking Almonds. Also, his dry bar is coming up. We're excited about that. His dry bar comedy special is coming up. Thanks, Chester. You know who's up next? Joe Bronzi. Oh my gosh, Joe Bronzi. Let's hear it for Joe Bronzi.
Thank you so much for having me here, the 4th episode of the QC Club, and I have the honor of being your headliner. It's also an honor to be part of my first virtual wine festival with Old York Cellars. So great to be here. I'm raising a virtual glass, getting digitally knockered, and hopefully I'll get a BUI, binging under the influence later. Shout out to our correspondent. Great job, Rodney, Laney, down in, I think, South Carolina. Good news is, man, if you can hear this, we did post your bail. Who knew tipping cows would be a problem down south? So yeah, you're looking at my first quarantine haircut done by my wife, Lindsay, who during the haircut informed me I'm hair sensitive and that I cry too much, whatever. The beard's coming in a little bit, quarantine beard, like a lot of men are growing. A little distressed to see how much white hair. I had white hair on my head since I'm 30, so that didn't bother me. But I will tell you, not too long ago, I looked down in the shower and saw white hair on my chest. I freaked out. I panicked. First, I thought, who poured bleach on my nipples? Then after I dried off, I called my mother and asked if we had any albinos in the family tree. Not happy. I felt a liver spot burst on the back of my hand. That's right. And then my socks shot up to my knees and I had an urge to watch the History Channel. That makes me think ahead to when I'm looking back on this at the end of what is hopefully a long life in probably captivity. And I'll be like, when I was a young man, around 2020, I remember things were different. We used to go out places. We did. We used to travel. We used to go on cruises. That's right, where the only thing we had to worry about was dysentery and actually causing our arteries to harden so fast our heart would shoot out our ears. We used to go out in public. We'd go to places like movie theaters where, believe it or not, we'd pay good money to listen to people talk and interrupt the film, and sometimes even kick the back of our seats for no extra charge. We used to celebrate family events all together. If you can believe it, Thanksgiving, we once gathered the whole family. That's right, everybody would come together in love and cook things with absolutely no regard to anybody else's medical condition. Oh, it was a wonderful time. I remember all the children, my nieces and nephews, 20-some-odd nieces and nephews getting together and playing. We're from New York, so there were occasional knife fights, but it was beautiful. I used to be a comedian. Back at the beginning of this video, I considered myself a comedian. I would perform for huge groups of people, 6 or 7 at a time. Now, I perform virtually, and I don't even know if the people I'm talking to are falling asleep. Get up! So I may have mentioned I'm quarantined with my beautiful bride. We're newlyweds. We were married in October. She is absolutely my best friend. Very much like any best friend I've ever had. She doesn't mind spending my money and she's indifferent as to whether or not I get laid. No, and people ask how quarantine has been. It's been fine. We've gotten back together 6 times. And I'm looking forward to an extremely amicable divorce. Basically, I will say, I know 2 things. This quarantine will end and they'll never find my body. I'm pretty sure of both of those things. I know a lot of people are missing traveling. And not too long ago, my beautiful mother-in-law took my wife and I on a cruise to Alaska. And had a wonderful time. It was amazing. I'm very grateful. This portion of the video was to encourage her to do something that extravagant again. The thing was, it had a captain on that cruise ship that loved to hear the sound of his own voice. So we're on the cruise ship and the captain is making announcements constantly. I happen to be able to do his voice. Attention, attention, attention. So we would wait to hear, attention, attention, attention. For those of you who wanted to sleep in today, no. This is your captain speaking. It is 67 degrees outside. The barometer is falling, but there should be no problems, and I am no longer wearing pants. Now, the last night of the cruise, we're in the dining room, and we're having a lovely dinner, and she says to me, do the captain again. I would never turn the lovely lady down, so I launch into, attention, attention, attention. Well, we're in a dining room full of other passengers. They hear me, and I get a good laugh. Everybody turns to look. I'm a stand-up comedian. Now it's a show. So I'm doing the whole captain routine. We are sailing at 140 degrees by 32 degrees, and I have smoked 14 joints. Everything's going great. I mean, the whole dining room's roaring until I feel a hand on my shoulder, and a voice says, attention, attention, attention. And that's one of the 2 reasons I can't go back on cruise ships anymore. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being a part of the QC Club and the Old York Cellars Wine Festival. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll come back again, and I hope to entertain you in person soon. Good night.
Thank you so much, guys. This is Buddy Fitzpatrick, your host for this Quarantine Comedy Club. One more time for Kelly Terranova and Joe Bronzi and our roving correspondent, Rodney Laney, down there staying safe in South Carolina. Here is where you can tip, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for checking in. Take care.
I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did with a glass of wine in hand. Please make sure to check out Old York Cellars for their amazing wine. And remember, our comedians have been out of work for over a month now, so if you can, please donate or tip to the accounts below. Thanks again to our comedians Buddy Fitzpatrick, Kelly Terranova, Joe Bronzi, and field correspondent Rodney Laney. Well, that's all for now, folks. I'm Lindsay. Please stay safe, drink lots of wine, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, this is Buddy Fitzpatrick with this episode of...
Hey, all you cats and kitties. That does feel horrible.
Say, hey, things get bad.
So I've mentioned that I'm quarantined with my beautiful Celtic duck. I think I hurt my throat on that one. I think we need to cut that.
Hello, my wine and you? You don't look I do. Hello, from my glass of wine to me, to you, to the wine to me. And welcome to the QC Club of Comedy. Hello. Hello. I'm Moira Rose. Hello. This is my only glass of This is my only glass of wine, surprisingly. Hello.